So here are the ingredients to make your roti, and this is some butter that I left out in the ingredients that you need to add. So you have all the ingredients and you start adding them, all the dry ingredients to your flour. Okay, that would be your yeast, your sugar, your salt, and once you get those ingredients in, you mix it up, and then what we're gonna do is go ahead and get our butter, and we're gonna place our butter into our flour here. So you want to make sure the butter is soft so that it mixes in properly. So you have 1 tablespoon of butter that it calls for, and you go ahead and you mix it in properly. Okay, use a spatula to break it in, and then you're gonna add your water, which is just 1 cup of water, and you're gonna use the spatula first to combine the ingredients. So here we have me with the spatula, and I'm folding the flour and the water together, mixing together, and pretty soon I'm going to use my hands to really get it incorporated. So just make sure that your hands are clean, wash hands. I use a spatula first to get it in there, because if you use your hand um, at the beginning, a lot of flour would stick to your hand. So you don't want that happening. Okay, so use a spatula first to get it there, and then use your hand, and you knead the dough a bit with your hand. And you see I'm working the dough here and making sure it's well um, mixed in the flour. So you see me kneading it, bringing it to the center, just folding it, folding it, folding it, keep folding it. Get a lot of the flour into the dough. Now I'm going to dust the bowl with some flour, turn it over, okay? Dust the top. And the reason I'm doing this is because we're going to let the dough rest for an hour. You wrap it with plastic. You could put a towel over it, whichever. I use the plastic wrap, and I cover it with it, and I let it rest for an hour. Okay, let it sit down for an hour. Then when the hour is up, I dust my counter where I'm going to roll it out. And this recipe should give you roughly 5 rotis. Okay, but what I'm doing here today is that I am going to make just 2 rotis for demonstration, and then the rest I'm going to use to make what we call aloo pie. So I'm going to cut, and it's going to be about 2 ounce, 2.5 ounce pieces. So I cut those two, and then now I'm cutting smaller pieces to make my aloo pie. So it's a multi-purpose dough. And the aloo pie that I'm going to make, it's actually not fried. It's a little more on the healthier side. So I'm not going to deep fry it, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to make these into little balls. Okay, and this is for my aloo pie. All right, so you see I'm rolling them. I'm going to roll little balls here, and I'm going to use it to make the aloo pies. So like I said, it's a multi-purpose dough here that I make. So you have different uses for it. You can make a roti, and you can make an aloo pie with it. So I'm doing some roti, 2 rotis to demonstrate how I make the roti, and then I'm doing the aloo pie here that I'm going to use these little pieces, and they're about 1 ounce size. You don't have a scale, but you could average out what 1 ounce would look like. So I'm going to roll it, and I'm making my balls. I'm making sure that if it gets too sticky, I could dust the counter with a little flour. Okay, and here you have it. I have the balls made, 2 for roti, 2 the bigger ones, and then I have 8 little ones for aloo pie. Once that's done, I'm going to start rolling them out, and I'm going to use some soft butter that I have. I'm going to take the balls, and I'm going to roll them out. Okay, dust a little flour on your counter, a little flour on top, and you're going to just roll it out. And it's going to be about, I'd say, 5 to 6 inches in diameter. Okay, that you're going to roll it out. Once you have it rolled out, there you go. Roll it out. I'm going to take my what we call bench scraper or knife. Okay, the bench scraper there. I'm going to just put a slit in it up to the center. Then I'm going to take some soft butter and spread it on the dough here. Okay, so I'm putting butter here. So you could use oil if you want to with a brush. You could use shortening. I just happen to have some extra butter laying around, so I had it soft, and now I'm spreading it on the dough here. And then I'm going to Sprinkle a little flour here on it, not much as you can see, just a little flour, and that would help give it the flakiness. And then I'm going to roll it like a ice cream cone. Okay, so I'm going to roll it in a cone shape, and then I'm going to take the bottom of the cone and bring it up to the top, and just press it down slightly. Okay, and you do that for each ball. You're going to take them, dust it, pull it out, 5 to 6 inches in diameter. Okay, if it sticks, just try dust with a little flour. Okay, cut to the center. You're going to get some soft butter and put it on it. Okay, put the soft butter there, and then you're going to again sprinkle it with a little flour. Okay, and you're going to repeat that process. So the recipe that I made there for you, it would give you approximately 5 decent sized rotis. Okay, right now I have the little ones for the aloo pies. And now you have a little bowl with oil. I have my platen. We call that in Trinidad platen or tower, but I got one of those commercial types, and I'm going to dust the counter with flour. And I'll make sure that the tower or the platen is very hot when you're ready to do it, okay? Because it's really a quick process in cooking, and you don't want to leave it too long on the tower, otherwise it'll get crispy, and you don't want it that way. It's nice and soft. And what you're going to do here is take your balls, and now those balls that you made for the roti, you're going to let that rest for about 30 minutes, okay, before you start rolling it out. So each process after the 1 hour process is 30 minutes for each. When you make your balls, 30 minutes. And when put the butter in it and put it aside, it's another 30 minutes. So in all, you're looking at 2 hours of resting time total. And then you're going to roll them out very thin. Okay, you see, now if you wanted to make dal puri roti, you grind the peas, and instead of rolling the little circle and cutting it and putting the butter, you just stuff it with the peas and roll it and set it aside. Okay, and I'll do a video on that the next time. But here we are rolling out, because this would give you what we call plain roti, and you could use it for bus up shut also, which they call paratha. You have your tower, and then you take a brush and you brush the tower with the oil. Make sure you brush it completely all the way around, and make sure it's hot too. Okay, make sure the tower is hot before you start. And it's better if it's on a gas stove, but hey, lately everybody has an electric stove, so mine is on electric stove, and this commercial type platinum tower I bought non-stick, and it works very well for when I'm making it ready. So once you put it down on it, you brush the top with some of the oil. You could also use clarified butter, but that's a whole other ball game, clarifying butter. So the oil is better. The oil don't burn, because if you use just plain butter without clarifying it, it will burn, and it will burn the roti. Okay, so oil is the best option at this point in time. Using some oil, brushing the top with some oil, and as you can see, when you have it on, it starts bubbling. Okay, see the little bubbles on top. Okay, so once you get the bubbles on top, next thing you want to do is just flip it over. Flap, there you go. Okay, flip it over, and you let the other side cook. You make sure it's cooked. You could touch the edges down, make sure, but if you roll it out thin enough and proper enough, and they all roll evenly, okay, you'll have it there. Now we're just going to pick it up off the tower. There you go. I'm going to flip it so that it's an easy pickup. There you go. And you have your roti there being made. Okay, that's one. Fold it, and I have the dish set aside. We have some paper towels so it absorbs some of the grease. And then after that, make sure you wipe it down after each one. Use a paper towel, not a wet paper towel, just a dry paper towel. Wipe it down, because you don't want the little excess flour to stay on there and start burning. So you wipe it down, and then you put your roti on and follow the process all over again. It's a repeat. Just go ahead and brush it with the oil. Okay, and you can see it starts to bubble. Okay, let it bubble up some. And once that is ready, you're just gonna flip it now. The hotter the tower, the quicker it is. I was just doing, if you're doing multiple things, you're trying to get it done, and You don't want it to go too fast. Here you go. It's bubbled. You just flip it over. Okay, and that's how it's made. Okay, let it cook. Then you're gonna just, like I said before, repeat the process. You're gonna just fold it in half there. You see, oh, that's lovely. Yep, and it's quick and easy to make. I mean, 2 hours in the whole mixing process and then the cooking. And here you go. Take your hand and you beat it to make the bust up shot, or you can leave it plain. I have one that I left plain and one that I'm making bust up shot. There you go. That's how we do it, folks. So any questions, just direct message me. I'll be happy to help you. Thanks a lot for viewing.